Welcome to Akhand Vidyasam, the first institute of impeccable wisdom. Anant, the never-ending infinity, a Divyank infinity. The Holy Gita presents the essence of Sanatana Dharma, starting from Veda, Upanishad to scriptures. And one of the shlokas which I like the most is Karmanya Vadikaris Ma Phaleshu Kadachan. That means do your work to the best of your ability without worrying about fruits. Ma karma phalati turvama te sangostva karmani. When you do your work to the perfect your ability with the whole thing within your mind, only then you can be in tune with universal consciousness. And I believe this from my childhood, and I've been doing it to the best of my ability. Results can be seen in my academic performance, in school, college, university, to my professional life, to all my CV or bio profile throughout my life speaks. Here is one Karma Yogi who works perfectly to get the impeccable wisdom from childhood till today. It has taken me more than 60 years to recognize, conceive, and reveal DIVYANK for the first time in the history of mankind in 2015. And it's been worth to rectify the entire universal consciousness, the knowledge which he has with the perfection. Now that we can have a new syllabus for integrated universal students from school, college to the university, which no one needs to unlearn, relearn, and start again. And that is the whole objective of Akhand Vidyashram. There is another proverb which is very, very close to me, which comes from Ayurveda Purusharth, but I have modified it a little bit and put it as the Dharma, righteousness, Karma, the righteous actions, thoughts, Pragyan, absolute wisdom, Moksha is the liberation, freedom from all the restraints of life. If you want, you need Dharma, righteous education, enlightenment, empowerment, thoughts and actions, knowledge. Is a full package of 64 arts which makes you one with the universe, and then all the revelations of the world are known. Another picture which is very dear to me is Kathapadesh, one side, or holy picture where you can see 5 horses, 10 reins, and chariot which represent Jivatma, the physicalized human admi, which we can call it separate from universal consciousness, which is the result is Dvaita philosophy that we are separate from God. In the process, you can also see Arjuna, I see as a indwelling human soul as helium-4, which is the force which every human being is expected to see within the body. To experience the beauty of Vedas and Upanishads, you need to be like Arjuna, who can take bow and arrow and hit the eye of the parrot into the eyes, and that concentration can be done who's fully self-realized person. That means your Jivatma and Antaratma has become more, you are enlightened. Third concept which stands out here is Lord Krishna, who represents Jivatma, Antaratma, and Paramatma, all the three. He has the control of all the 5 horses, all the 10 reins, all the physical body, in helium as well as neon 21. He represents physical body, which is represented the universal body. He represents Antaryog or Antaratma, the indwelling soul, also represents the universal soul, which is separate from Jivatma and Antaratma, but all the three put together are put together as a one philosophy called Tret Paravidya. If you are able to unite physical body with Antaratma and Antaratma with Paramatma, all the secrets of the physical body, which is representation of macrocosmic universe, as well as the beauty of macrocosmic universe is at your fingertips, and you know A to Z of everything, to be one with the universe and remove all the fallacies we have in all the perceived man-made design throughout the world, irrespective of anything, and bring to the divine wisdom, Divyank, for the world. And that is what Akhand Vidyashram is doing to do. Now, my dharma is impeccable wisdom. My greatest discovery is DIVYANK, 22 by 21 to the power of 10.34419, equivalent to 1618034. This is a perfect divine design of nature with which all the perfect objects of the entire universe are made, whether it is macrocosmic universal consciousness, it is Milky Way, it is spiral galaxy, it is the solar system, or it is a perfect human being, anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, psychology, are right into double helix genetic structure with which we are designed is also according to DIVYANK. Even elements, sodium and chloride, and all the elements are also designed that they're combinations of Shakta and Shakti, and there is Divyank perfection there too. For example, sodium and chloride combination, which is beautiful salt, is also according to Divyank only. So this is impeccable wisdom, which is enlightening. Akhand Vidya wisdom is empowering, and that is what has been objective of my life, to give the world something which has never happened in life. Divyank is one of them. This symbolic represents another thing. But there is one concept we have spoken again and again and again, but nobody has given a mathematical design. Descriptions are good, but without a mathematically conclusive design, any concept is incomplete. Let's understand. And that is what I would call the universal infinity concept, the never-ending consciousness. Whenever we always look up. We always know there was Andhakar, there was Tamas, there was Mrityu. You can see the darkness. This is NASA picture. But you can see the objectives also in between. When you see this picture, this is infinity, this never-ending universe. But is it also infinity a mathematical concept which we can understand? Attempt has been made again and again and again, but unfortunately we haven't got the right answer till date. But let's understand how we can try to find infinity concept from the knowledge which we have. From infinity, the definition is infinity is something that is endless, boundless, and never ending. It doesn't merge, it doesn't converge, it doesn't end, it remains same throughout. That mathematical description is fine, but mathematical concept is more important. But there are two lovely examples. The finite infinity, that is number from 100 to 1. How many stages are there? And also infinite infinity, the way the universe separates. Even number of multiples of hundreds and thereafter gives you that. But these are all concepts without any mathematical conclusion. Right in the picture you can see the same black hole, the dark matter. You can see the symbol of infinity. You can also see pi. You can also see golden ratio. You can also the square root of 7 and also 1 by 3. These are the concepts which have been used to give the numbers. But unfortunately, all these numbers have failed to give us infinite number which can be called one single number and nobody can find fault with. Let's try to do that. I do know from the black matter the whole universe is Nirankar Nirgun Brahman. It started from that, and that was neon 21 only. Then neon 21 plus neon 21 collided together to form neon 22, and there was a light, and with the light things came down to what we see today as a Prataksh universe. From dark to light, from death to immortality, to untruth to truth is seen in this particular picture. Same thing after creating in the universe, everything fell down on the earth and washed out into the Indian Ocean, or ocean, primordial ocean. Then in the addition, Devatas, gods and Asuras, demons, wanted to get immortal, so they did a churning of the ocean to get immortal, and then they got the immortal. Unfortunately, what was immortal has not been shown till today what exactly it contains. Been a big mystery. And I make it clear the emerald which you're talking about, immortal you're talking about, is perfect water, and water should be 61.8034% on the earth in the human body and the human cell. Then only you can be totally healthy, wealthy, wise, and happy. These are the different things which came out of churning of ocean or Samudra Manthan. We have detailed about it. We will not talk about it now. Then Indian mathematicians who were tuned with the universe, they learned divine mathematics. Zoroastrian learned it from Brahmins. Zoroastrian taught it to Arabs. Others converted into algorithm, geometry, etc. And they taught the West, and West made a man-made format, patented it. And the entire world is now learning man-made mathematics, and it is defective. It is not perfect. It's a man who has tried to convert ancient Indian mathematical design into man-made designs, but in the process you have confused because at every stage there are problems. Now let's understand the beauty of that. Whenever we are in distress and otherwise, we look up because there is uniformity. And what is the uniformity? You can see Milky Way, you can see spiral galaxy, you can also see Fibonacci sequence, you can also see Shank or the conch. There are beautiful examples of Fibonacci sequence and similarity. This is where the starting point comes up. Now to understand starting concepts that 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, 144, the sequence goes on. There is a natural pattern which particularly you see in plant kingdom. But the beauty of this is you get a number for the first time after Fibonacci as 1.618 as the golden ratio. Now look at the golden ratio. The first accepted value is 1.61. It is simple. Science can be simple, but it's oversimplification. So it's not really acceptable because it's not going to give you perfect knowledge of anything. It will only give you some approximate idea. That is exactly the world is doing today. As a result, there is a confusion. Books are different from school, college to university. And as a professor of physiology and medical subjects and other subjects, I always found difficult students not giving me the answers which are perfect. To simplify the golden ratio from 1.618, mathematicians of the world try to make a mathematical design like 1 plus square root of 5 divided by 2 and gave the number 1.618033988749895. Even today, this never-ending infinite number of digits are going and expanding, and mathematicians are taking pleasure to find more and more numbers. And I have a question. These are confusing. You can't apply in mathematics. You can't apply in do. You can't even remember it. It should be simple and clear. 1.618 or Fibonacci number. This is not as perfect as we want. To find this number in a very simple way, that was my first trial to make this DIVYANK rectangle and find the length and breadth of the DIVYANK rectangle. And this process I've already explained. Start with 100 by 100 and finally you find 100 into 1.618034. Simple classification I've already explained in this. You can read it. Second thing, to understand inverse DIVYANK sequence, if you start from 100 and start divided by 61.8034, be very clear, 61.8034 and go on dividing, you find that 100 can be divided 10 times by 61.80 to come to 1 point. But below that, it's the 11th step, and that is what 11th extension is, and that is what is the developmental stages on the inverse side. Here I am giving a clue. The DIVYANK infinity is 61.8034. It was done with that. And this shows that in finite visits from 100 below, it is only 61.80. Now the picture is becoming very clear. Now also to see how the DIVYANK ratio was conceived, 21 into 21 is the first square right on top. Then how it expands to show 22 by 21 to the power of 10.34419 is the actual mathematical design which is divine. And this particular design, at least two parts of it, 22 by 21 represent Lord Brahma, the Lord of first creation. The 10 depends on Vishnu avatar, 10 stages of development in the human body. But Shivank, the last was not known in any of the scriptures of the world till today. That is something which I tried to find it out, and let's see how did I do it. Anyway, before going to show that first stage of creation, Brahma is equivalent to 20 to 21. Human cell under compound micro 3 parts. Under electron microscope there are 21 parts. There is 1 part centrosome which becomes 2 centrioles and they become 22. That's how a living cell multiplies further. Is proven in this particular concept that first creation, our Lord Brahma is equivalent to 22 by 21. 10 stages Dasavtaram is the only one, it's not speaking of 9, it's not speaking of 11. And I've given the sequence that in a vertebral animates like us, we start from fish and come to the most intelligent person who's into the universal consciousness. You go through certain stages, and those stages are seen from the time of conception into zygote to Purusha to move on step by step, and finally you come to the stage, it is 10 stages, and then you go further to be one in the universal consciousness, and that is where Lord Shiva comes. So Brahma is 22 by 20, Vishnu 10 stages of 10, and last stage is Shiva, we will go to. Before that, there are 10 stages red blood cells, proves it, their own 10 stages, nothing more, and this is the most abundant cell. You can see the stages I have already explained. We'll be explaining that much more in detail. But this is another proof of Vishnu or Vishnu avatar of 10 stages. Now Shivank, to find it out, I had to use, with the help of my another professor who is a statistician, mathematician, learned from him the art of IBM SPS software version. Then having got 1.618034 as the number of DIVYANK, put that to look for the 5 digits which Lord Shiva's 5 elements represent, and I'm glad I could find it was 0.34419. And when they put together as also 21, that shows everything is 21. Rule of law is 21. You do a thing for 21 days. On 22nd day you are liberated. And this concept is beautifully shown in Upanishads. The solar system is made of 21 parts. If you want the moksha satchitanand, you got to get 22nd step to go beyond the solar system to where Akash Kosh is. That's one part, or where the Rishikosh is. Now, based on this information, I could conceive 22 by 21, 10.34 as one number. 22 is the first stage Brahmank, 10 is the Vishnuank, 34419 is Shivank, and divine DIVYANK golden ratio is 1.61. This was recognized first month 2007 by Shiv Bhushan Sharma. In the history of mankind, it has never happened, and it is done only by a person who is in tune with the universal consciousness. And now going further, the beauty of DIVYANK ratio is that it is made of 2 components, Shakta and Shakti. Shakta is 38.1966% and Shakti is 61. If core is this, dynamic is this. When put together is 100. What is interesting is 61.8034 square of that is equivalent to 13819.66, which is 100 times the value of the first part. This amazing DIVYANK infinity is 61.8034. That is the beauty which I found it. So infinity is never-ending sequence of numbers. It should not merge, converge, or diverge. The ratio of adjoining numbers should be constant. There is no evidence of such an infinite number so far before DIVYANK infinity. The first example of infinity number is 1 divided by 7 is 0.142857. 142857. It should go on as you can see right now. That is a perfect number, not the upper one which others have given. Second example of infinity is pi, and according to Akhand Sutra is not the number which is given by the man-made mathematician, but the given by Akhand Vidyashram is 3.142857, 142857. It goes on like that. Third example is the golden ratio. It is not one for gives that number. It is the dawn DIVYANK which gives you the right number of 1.618034. world may be infinite, but every objective is limited, and there should be limited digits, and these limited nulls are 1.618034. Now, this particular 4 exemplar infinity was given by Ramanujan, and unfortunately, this is a mathematically very complex, which nobody can. But at the same time, let me tell you, this is also man-made theorem concept, which is not perfect as DIVYANK infinity. Ramanujan also gave a summation of 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 and goes on, equivalent to minus 1 divided by 12 is the infinity number. West has accepted, but it is not clear beyond 100 or 200. It stops. So it doesn't become remember. I still remember. Man who knew infinity was always Ramanujan. But his infinity has a limited number, was declared in all the movies on Ramanujan, is good but not good enough. But new example of infinity which I have given is 100 divided by 61.8034 goes on like this, that within 10 stages you come to 1.3158. When you go beyond 10 divisions, you come less than 1, and that is one example of infinity number to show 61.8034 is the number. Similarly, never-ending expanding infinite number 100 multiplied by 61 point added to that, it goes on, it will never end, and that's the beauty of it. So in other words, you can say the infinity number, Anant, never-ending infinity constant is 61.8034 only. Unfortunately, very inverse idea. I do not know whether Michael Mistlove, actually from Germany, knew about it, but he sent one letter to his student Kepler in 1597 giving a number for inverse golden ratio decimal of 6.618034, which you can see in that. What it was, no one explored, enumerated, and explained this concept, and it was left alone. Anyway, I am bringing it because it is recorded, nobody has noticed it. And coming to that, I will not go talk. I think what I have done for today in this particular video in English alone is enough for the day. And let's move on to the next one in Hindi.